Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
Shopping is hard, right? But I found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required. And he sends just for me pieces, plus outfit recommendations and styling tips. I keep what works and send back the rest. It's so easy. Make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Spotify. That's stitchfix.com/Spotify.
Choice Hotels get you more for your money so you can maximize any road trip. And as your vacation maximizationer, I'm going to make sure you hear the maximum sizzle of Comfort Inn's free hot breakfast. Let's get real close. Maximum apple. Now that is fresh crispimization. Maximum waffle. Hear that crunch. And that's maximum coffee. Oh yeah, that's the pour I'm talking about. Breakfast maximized before hitting the road. Check into more. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Tossers have thrown it out the door with their behaviour this week. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should absolutely look at themselves in the mirror and wonder what the have they been doing. They're hissing at us and calling us cheats in the Lord's long room, and they have the gall to say, talk to us about the spirit of cricket. Absolute bullshit.
There's a big appeal that's hit him on the pad. He's out. Lions gone. New South Wales are 9 down. Onto Sydney Road, and it's hit a car. Oh, I think it's hit a car. What a way to bring up your 50.
All you want is to leave it all behind. Now there is a simple remedy to stay fit for all eternity.
All right, everyone, I am back to wrap up day 3 of the second test, Australia versus the West Indies, being played in Grenada. And boy, Australia have edged in front. They started the day leading by just 45 with 8 wickets in hand. They've now pushed the lead to 254. They have 3 wickets in hand. And there were 3 rain delays today, so they lost a bit of time, but they pushed that lead up to 254. So they scored 209 more runs today, and a big partnership by Cameron Green and Steve Smith. They put on 93 and took that lead from, pretty precarious position to a position of dominance. So before I get into some of the details of today and some talking points, I guess, where does this match stand? Well, a big wicket for the West Indies just before stumps. They were able to dismiss Travis Head for 39. Alex Carey is still not out on 26, so he's with Pat Cummins, and they're still a dangerous partnership. But if the West Indies can knock Australia over early tomorrow morning for, say, adding around 20 more, and they're chasing under 280, Australia are still heavy favourites, very heavy favourites, but the wicket is actually not playing that badly. It's a bit slow, and the issue is some balls are keeping low. But in between the balls keeping low, if you play pretty straight and get in, there are runs to be had because it's generally a flat, slow wicket. But as I said, there's a couple of spots, and we saw Smith get a couple early in his innings. We saw Travis Head, Shamar Joseph came around the wicket and he was bowled from a ball that kept a little low. Cameron Green got a couple that kept low. But the other thing as well, a couple jumped up off a length. So that puts a bit of doubt in the mind, but definitely runs on offer. It's not a minefield because it's dried out and slowed down a bit. You've got a bit of time to adjust for your shot. But it's very hard to see the West Indies, with the current state of their batting, chasing down such a big score, 254 run lead now. If Australia gets that sort of close to 300, it's good night Charlie for the West Indies. But if they can knock them over early, maybe the West Indies can do something special. There's plenty of time left in the game. they can probably approach it a bit like a limited overs chase and just be aggressive and lean into their skills. I mean, Brandon King, who played so well in the first innings, has played a lot of one-day cricket for the West Indies. They've attacked Nathan Lyon in the first innings. So I guess, tactically the West Indies would be going, well, if we can knock Lyon out of the attack in the chase, then that'll make it a lot harder for Australia and give them a real chance. But yeah, the West Indies just kept in the game with the late wicket of Travis Head today. Right, going through the day's action, so Cameron Green made 52, but the innings of the day was Steve Smith making 71. It was an imperious innings. I guess let's start with Steve Smith. Barrett Sundaresan was saying on the coverage that Smith wasn't moving across his crease because the ball was keeping low. And that's true. I didn't notice it, but he had changed his trigger movement. But another thing I noticed about Smith was he was also playing very straight. He was playing between the V. A lot of his runs came through beautiful drives. He lofted a couple straight down the ground. And, when the ball is a bit up and down, you've got to play straight. You've got to put the cross-bat shots away, and you've got to play straight. And we saw Smith do that so well. And, he looked like he was batting in different conditions. He was playing so well. And he and Cam Green, that crucial partnership, they came together when Lyon was out early with the score 3 for 28. And when Green was out, a ball after passing his 50, the score was 4 for 121. But, I said Steve Smith shouldn't play in this test match. And we would have been missing him in this second innings if he didn't, because very difficult conditions when he came to the crease, and he navigated them and got Australia into a really comfortable lead now. On Cameron Green's good innings for him today. He battled away, and he'll be really disappointed for him to get out. He chopped one on off Shamar Joseph, the ball after getting 50, and a loss of concentration there. The ball wasn't wide enough to play that shot, and the bounce isn't true enough on that pitch. So it was almost trying to play sort of back foot drive. And, you just shouldn't be doing that on an up and down pitch like this, especially not that ball. It wasn't wide enough to really throw the hands at it. So he was out for 52. Good innings. I still don't think he looks like a number 3, though. He rode his luck. He did play well, though, but he said after play in an interview to the radio that he's kind of changed his setup a bit recently. They're trying to adjust to batting at number 3. And I think that's such an issue. If we've got someone coming to test level who's having to change their setup to succeed at test level on a long-term basis, it just makes me very concerned that he's not actually... he shouldn't be changing his game so much when he's at number 3. We need somebody who knows how to play and has their game in order to take on, that really important position of number 3. But yeah, good innings from him. I've always said Cameron Green's a test cricketer, but he's batting a bit too high. And I'd like to see something like a reshuffle in this order. So we replaced 2 openers. I've slept on it, and I think they should drop Khawaja for the next test match. I actually think they should just say, you're done, buddy. I was thinking say to him, make the next test match your last, but who cares? It's an away test match in the West Indies that no one is watching. Just drop him now. Have some kahunas, selectors. You could put anyone there and it would be better. So, for example, you could open with Marnus. He's still over there in the next test. Even though Marnus is not an opener, he's certainly the future. It would give you at least an option, get him playing cricket. Say to Marnus, look, this is just a one and done. We're not sure how, they can say truthfully, we have no idea about our top 3 for the Ashes because we've left it so late, but we know Khawaja is not part of it, so you may as well play. I mean, why not? Still play Constas. Even if you're not going to play him in the Ashes, you've taken him there. You've killed him by dropping him for Sri Lanka. At least play him in the 3rd test, and you never know. But yeah, I'd be dropping Khawaja. And then I'd be putting, as I said, Smith at 3. I would also move Travis Head to 4. I think he can play the way he plays, but at number 4. And then Green 5, Webster 6, Carey 7. I mean, I think that's a pretty good lineup once you get 2 openers who can take the shine off the ball. And I don't understand this reticence to move Smith up. He played for years at number 3. Years. All right, so that's the Smith-Green dilemma. Yeah, and I just think the last thing is, Travis Head, big wicket. He played beautifully, though, 39. He scored quickly. And again, his dismissal, though, did just open the door for the West Indies. How did the West Indies go? Well, Seals, 2 for 29. Shamar Joseph, 2 for 54. Justin Greaves, 2 for 22. Alzari Joseph, 1 for 42. Anderson Phillip and Roston Chase, wicketless. I thought the West Indies were pretty good today, but at times there was some strange fields and there was some loose bowling. They were trying to get the ball to move, but they did serve up a few nice juicy half volleys to Smith in particular. They also, just didn't seem to be bowling to their fields at times. There's one instance where there's no one behind point on the offside, and I think it was Phillip just bowled the ball to Green that was an absolute gift, just short and wide outside off stump. So there was a little bit of loose bowling from the West Indies, but Jaden Seals and Shamar Joseph, the chief destroyers, and Justin Greaves with his 2 wickets bowled pretty well. So all in all, the West Indies, a fine effort, but probably just let Australia slip a little. But you can't deny Smith's class. When you're up against probably the best player of our generation, and every now and then you're going to come off second best. And, he just shepherded through Australia through that tough time. And we heard Josh Hazlewood say it after day 2 that once the ball gets a bit soft, it can be much easier to bat on. So, Australia is 65 overs in, 15 overs till the new ball. So tomorrow, it's going to be up to the West Indies to bowl well in that first hour and get Australia out. So that's it for my wrap of day 3. Australia in front and looking headed for a 2-0 series lead in this test match. And I will be back after day 4 to wrap it up. Could be the last day of the test match, but enjoy, and I'll be back soon.
Thanks for listening to Cricket Unfiltered. An ad-free version is available on the Patreon website. All the information is in the episode notes, as well as ways to get in touch for sponsorship opportunities or to send in your hot cricket takes. If you can rate and review the show on your favourite podcast app, that would be much appreciated.
This is a Piccolo podcast production.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Right now, get a free select tool when you buy the Craftsman V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today. Valid through 7/9 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Maximum initial battery voltage measured without a workload is 20 volts. Nominal voltage is 18.